one of the things that I learned from selling Herefish last year was that people aren't really highly aware. Sorry, you can see like the ring light on my glasses. People are not really aware of um, their workflows.
Mm. Yeah.
And again, I think enterprise level and above, like enterprise, they get it, as they move towards it because they've grown so much that the people in the business now get to work on the business and not in it. But when you're in that growing phase and the ownership team and the leadership team are still working in the business, like doing the recruiting, doing the account management, selling, they don't really think about, when should we leave a note? When does a placement have to go in? What information needs to be included in a placement? Should we put that in a note in the placement, or we should put that in a field in the placement record? And that's really what starts to happen when you work on the business as opposed to in it. And and obviously enterprise have grown big enough that they can get out of that for the most part, right? So they're going to start seeing what needs to be a field versus a note. But if you start with the right workflows in place and the right trajectory, using automation just becomes pretty easy. And I'm going to probably beat this like a dead horse for the next 6 to 12 months of like, one day I'm just going to go to a staffing firm and they're going to be like, oh, like I'm a 10-person staffing firm and I have this full process built out. And you know who did it? Like we did it, but we also made sure that our system implementer, right, Kyloe of the world, were really invested. And then we can go and we can just say, hey, what do you want to implement? Oh, okay, where's that field in Bullhorn? Okay, where's the other field that you need that's in Bullhorn? Okay, let's tie it all together and go. Because I'm sure what you're going to find is, so we used to sell Herefish, and Billy would do the kickoff call, and then a week later, they would come back to us and they'd be like, okay, we've officially went through all of our workflows. They had to go back, create standing operating procedures and workflows, and then move forward. So,
Yeah.
I'm always curious, and obviously I haven't worked for Kyloe, but like when you guys implement an SMB, in the UK or the US or Australia, like how much of it do you see where the smaller to medium sized customers have this stuff in place already, and should they be thinking about it so that they can take advantage of these? And I know I just spoke for a long time, so.
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. I think absolutely no. I think it's a really good question. I think we it's something we ask a lot of these companies, or all of these companies actually, when they're maybe, for example, implementing Bullhorn. It's like, well, show us your process. What do you currently do? And often they'll give us something and say, but no one actually really does that, or they'll say, we do this, but this is just because our current system does it. And I think it's really, really key, because then it's looking at how to achieve the best practice in Bullhorn. Take what makes you as an agency unique and the processes that give you that advantage, but actually doing, kind of stripping that of anything that's really just not actually done in reality, or is done because of previous system limitations, or done because you just feel you have to do it. And then kind of going back to that automation piece, it's just making sure that it's really kind of nailed down and followed before you go and automate. Because so often when people, whether it's Herefish by Bullhorn or anything really, when they're implementing it, whether it's kind of Canvas or any tool or integration, that they have this great advantage in mind when they put this software in place, but in reality they're not populating the data or following the processes to actually achieve what they want to achieve. So the good thing about our kind of skills at Kyloe and the services we offer is that we can almost take that step back with them as well. We can say, look, right, before you actually implement this, is the data in there? Do your recruiters actually do these things that you want them to do to start that process? Can we train them on that? Are you, for example, recording job activity in the right place, or have you put some work around because you didn't implement the software correctly, that means that actually when we turn on Herefish, it's not going to work? So it's right. It's taking that kind of wider view. It's really listening to the agency, looking at their processes, really kind of watching them use Bullhorn, and then from that, you can actually implement something that's really going to work, rather than just turning on a tool and saying, this will now make you more placements.